If you are anything like me, then you've spent hours playing Pokemon, and I'm sure that you know that some are easier to catch than others. Although this is the case, sometimes Game Freak takes it to a whole nother level and makes it practically impossible to catch a certain species. JirachiTV, your favorite Pokehistorian at your service, and today we will be talking about 5 of the hardest Pokemon to catch in the franchise's history. Some of these will get quite ridiculous, so buckle your seatbelts and hang on for the wild ride, because we are going to have a fun time. With that being said, let's hop right into the video. Let's kick it off with one of the fan favorite bug type Pokemon in the game's history, being Heracross. Personally, I'm not a big fan of bugs, the real ones that is, but I make an exception for the Pokemon because some of their designs are straight up fantastic, and Heracross is definitely one of those. Although Heracross's design is really cool, catching one in Generation 2 is not, because it requires for you to A, know your trainer ID, not insanely hard, but B, you then have to match the last digit of your trainer ID with a specific rare tree. Goes on though, because after you've done this, you have to have a Pokemon on your team with the move Headbutt, at which point you'll have to headbutt an odd tree, which only has a 10% chance of dropping a Pokemon. Luckily though, if you've managed to make it this far, there is a 30% chance of finding a Heracross within that 10% drop rate. Whew, and that was only number 5. Unfortunately, it gets harder from here too. Next up, we have our favorite Ghost Dark dual-type Pokemon from Generation 4 being Spiritomb. Now technically this Pokemon isn't overly hard to catch, but it is exceptionally time consuming, and also it requires another DS, as well as another copy of Pokemon Platinum. So if you don't have 2 DSs and 2 games, then you will unfortunately have to buy another copy of both, or pray that your friend owns them. With that in mind, I'm going to quickly detail the process in which a trainer would go about when catching Spiritomb. First, you have to obtain the odd keystone, which is easy enough. But after that, you need to interact with 32 other non-NPC players in the underground. Now keep in mind that DS Wi-Fi functionality was shut down in 2014. So in order to see other players in 2021, you need that second DS in-game I was talking about. Seeing the prices of Pokemon games right now, between the DS and Platinum itself, we could easily be talking about $200 just to catch a Spiritomb, which gives it a place at number 4. To any new trainers watching, if you like what you're currently seeing, then be sure to tap that subscribe button so you can have high quality Pokemon content uploaded directly to your YouTube feed. That being said, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 has to be Fibas in Generation 3. If you've been around the Pokemon franchise for any amount of time, you know that this Pokemon is one of the most notoriously difficult to catch in the franchise. Why is this? Well, you see, Fibas can only be caught on Route 119 in the Hoenn region. But it gets worse from there, because it can specifically only be caught on 6 out of the possibly hundreds of tiles on Route 119. You think that's enough? Because it only goes downhill from here. Of those tiles on the route, Fibas appears on 6 different tiles, but these tiles are completely random and will be different on every cartridge. To top it off, Fibas has a 50% encounter on each of the tiles it's located on. So in order to check each tile sufficiently, you will probably need to fish on each of the hundreds of tiles more than 5 times each. If you want to catch a Fibas in Generation 3, then I'm praying for your luck, because that is all you will be able to do while repetitively fishing for hours on end. Number 2 is another ridiculous Pokemon to catch, and I'm sure you'll be able to guess what it is, because similar to Fibas, it is infamous in the Pokemon community. This Pokemon is a pre-evolution of Snorlax, Munchlax. In the Sinnoh games, there is a mechanic to catch Pokemon called honey trees. The player can slather these trees in honey and wait 6 to 24 hours real time and check back to see if a Pokemon has appeared. This is where it gets tough. There are 21 different honey trees throughout the region, and only 4 trees have a possibility of attracting a Munchlax. Similar to Fibas, these trees differ by game file, so one game will not have the same Munchlax trees as the other. Unfortunately, unlike Fibas' 5% encounter rate, Munchlax only has a 1% encounter rate, meaning that you may have to slather honey on a tree over 100 times, plus wait at least 6 hours just to figure out whether you're at the right tree. If you fail to catch a Munchlax as well, then the process just repeats, and you have to slather on the honey and wait possibly over 100 times again. The last and final Pokemon on the list is original Color Magearna. The reason why this Pokemon is so difficult to obtain is because it requires that you have a fully completed Pokedex in Pokemon Home. This unfortunately includes event Pokemon such as Celebi, Deoxys, and Mew, which means that if you didn't go to these events, possibly 10 years ago, you are going to have a very difficult time trying to catch this Magearna. Well, I think that just about does it, because technically, in order to catch this Magearna, you have to catch all the other Pokemon on this list. If this is something you're thinking about doing, then please let me know in the comments, so I can wish you the best of luck. And oh boy, are you ever going to need it. That wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, then be sure to like and subscribe, because it really helps the channel. That being said, I wish you all the best.